everything close to tight end work in high school?
I mean, yeah, essentially. I mean, running routes, it's still concepts. I mean, we're still part of a concept. When we run routes, it's kind of, it all works, it works in together. And so now the blocking side of things, that's something that, perimeter blocking and blocking on the outside is something I did a lot in high school and even as a receiver. But it was definitely something to learn moving forward about the run game. I had to learn all about the run game, and I'm still continuing to learn, but the process is going well.
Gee, I was going to ask you about that transition because we know that you were always willing to block on the outside.
Right.
So when you're going inline then, just how different is that for you? And when you're talking about learning, how much is there to do?
Right. It was definitely a transition, and I kind of thought it was going to be harder and more fierce than it is. And like I kind of threw myself in there as soon as I could, and I mean, my first time going in there to block somebody, I'm like, wow, I love this, man. I want to put my face on somebody else, and it was just something I enjoyed doing, and I'm happy about the transition, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
How have you seen that maybe improve just over 8 or 9 days? I know you didn't get the full spring there.
Right. I've seen growth. I mean, even though I didn't get the whole spring, there was a lot of mental reps being taken. I'm able to watch and see Jeremy do the things, the roles that I'd probably be in store doing. So just being able to see the things being done, and then when I was able to get out there doing it myself, I mean, I just learned. I kind of automatically had a love for it. It's almost like I got jumped into it. I almost started liking it right away. I don't know if me and tight end still in the honeymoon stage, but I think I started liking it more than receiver. It's like I get the physical side of the game. I love that, and then I also get to be a route runner. So I enjoy it a lot, and I'm excited about it.
But surely you know that tight ends in this offense aren't going to get a ton of catches. Like, you got to give that up.
Yeah, I understand. I think I understand that. I mean, I'm here to be a team player. If everything I did was for personal benefit or for something for me, not only would I not get too far in football, I probably wouldn't get too far in life. So I'm here making the decision that I want to be the best player possible, whether that's receiving the ball or being a hell of a blocker. So I'm here to do that and be the best at it.
How is it going from being covered by corner to being covered by linebacker?
It was a transition for sure. I mean, I think the speed on the inside when it comes to the route running is a lot different. So it's a little bit slower, and it's kind of easier to decipher different coverages, and you can kind of see what's going on a little bit easier. But on the outside, it seems like everybody seems so much faster, and the move that it takes to get open is a lot harder. And that's the main thing I noticed.
What's your weight at right now?
I'm at 228.
You mentioned, the NFL. Like, are there any tight ends of the NFL right now that you look at and think, like, I could model my game after this guy?
Yeah, there's a few. There's a few that I can think of. I'm trying to think of somebody off the top of my head. What's the Ingram dude's name?
Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram. There's a lot of different tight ends that, you would think, when you think tight end, Kyle Pitts, of course. When you think tight end, you think of somebody that's a 6'6", 260-pound, slower guy that blocks, and that kind of has been the history of the game, and that's kind of the way it's been going. But if you look kind of in the future of where the tight end position could potentially go, you can see it being more of an elite, faster, and someone that's physical, kind of like a receiver that almost transitions into a tight end. So you can see that being in the future of the game. And so I kind of hopped on the trend early.
Do you feel like with your receiver background that you can bring a new dimension to this offense at that position?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Hey, G, I want to ask about another mentor of yours, Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
What's that relationship been like? How did that come about? Why have you guys been able to play?
So throughout my life, I've seen, since my football career started, I've actually seen there was a lot of similarities from the beginning with Larry Fitzgerald and I. People would always tell me I played my game just like him. My dream and goal is to be an NFL vet just like him, and I actually want to be a mentor to young rookies. That's something that I want to do, and there's been a lot of similarities in general. And then about 2-3 weeks ago, I had found out that his mom had passed away at the same age that my mom did, and there was just so many similarities that it's like, man, there's so many similarities, and I'm like, man, I need to talk to this guy. So I reach out to Richard. I'm like, man, is there anything we can do to kind of get us in contact? I just want to talk to the guy. And we ended up getting in contact. We had a great conversation, and ever since then, he just reaches out regularly, just make sure everything's good, and I'm appreciative to have that relationship.
When was the last time you guys talked?
maybe a week and a half ago. I think he messaged me, just asked how everything was going.
What's it like just being able to reach out to an all-time great and know that you're not the only one going through what you've gone through? He's going through it. And just get to talk to him.
It's dope. It's just, especially when there's just so much when you have so much respect for somebody, and not because of what they said or what people think about them, but by what they've done. If you just look at the things that he's done, he's actually went out there and he's done it consistently for many years. You're not hearing about Larry Fitzgerald doing bad things out here, getting in trouble here and there. Someone that's actually been a consistent leader to not only his teammates but everyone around him in the NFL. And so being able to hear words straight from him, it's a blessing for sure.
What's a tip he's given you? Some advice he's given you that you can pass on?
The advice that he's given me has had nothing to do with football, honestly. It has had nothing to do with really the X's and O's of football. It's been a lot about life and stuff like that, and the obstacles that you're gonna have to overcome, and chasing being the best person that you can be. And so those are the kind of things that we've talked about. I mean, it hasn't been too much the X's and O's of football.
Do you feel blessed?